Howdy folks, my name's Hannah with You Need a Budget, and today I'm going to share with you a great budgeting routine to master your budget and get the most out of YNAB. Fact: we all spend time on our money each week. We're either using that time worrying and stressing about it, or we can use that time to gain awareness and control of our money. And since you're already spending that time anyway, you might as well invest it in a helpful budgeting routine to help you make the most of both your time and your money. So I'm going to walk you through 3 healthy budgeting habits that together make up a quick and reliable budgeting routine. It's a pretty small time investment considering the results. Peace of mind, clarity, financial confidence, and potentially an above-ground pool. I mean, come on. Disclaimer, this workshop today assumes you already know the basics of budgeting with YNAB, so if we get started and you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'd encourage you to check out Ben's workshop, Creating Your Budget in YNAB. Alright, so step 1 in our budgeting routine is to make sure that all the transactions that have happened since your last budgeting session have been entered into your YNAB account register. That's this guy right here. Now, this is super important because our bank accounts in our budget get most all of their information from the account registers. So as far as your budget is concerned, nothing has happened until it's entered your account register. And if the account register isn't correct and up to date, then consequently our budget is going to be incorrect and out of date as well. And we just can't make well-informed spending decisions with an incorrect, out of date budget. Now, personally, I'm a night owl, so my budget routine usually happens after dinner because, believe it or not, checking in on my budget is one of my favorite ways to wind down after a busy day. Nerd alert? Yeah, sure. When I do, I always start with my checking account because it's the account that has the most activity happening in it. Now, as you can probably tell from my account register, I've developed the habit of entering transactions as soon as they happen, like entering the transaction while the gas is still pumping into my car. This makes it so that I can always rely on my category balances because they're getting updated right away. But I am human. I forget, I get distracted, and I even married a human and he forgets sometimes too. So my favorite way to start my budget routine is by importing any new cleared transactions that come into my bank account into my budget so I can catch up on any transactions I may have missed. If you're not sure what cleared means, a cleared transaction is one that the credit card company or the bank has finished processing. It's no longer pending and it's not going to change, so it's a sure thing, it's cleared. Now let me say this, importing transactions is definitely not required, but it is a really handy feature that kind of follows behind you and makes sure everything got entered and entered correctly. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways to import cleared transactions into your budget. The first way is called direct import or bank import. With this method, I can connect to the bank and actually link my checking and savings accounts to my budget. Then YNAB can automatically import cleared transactions when the bank makes them available. When they do, you'll see a little notification up here on the web app or a dot next to your accounts on the left side of your budget. And if you're on your phone, you'll see it right on the main screen of the app. Direct import can be used with most banks in the US and Canada and is just starting to become available in select parts of Europe as well. The other import option you'll notice is to do a file-based import, and this is a great alternative if your bank doesn't connect to YNAB or you just don't want to connect your bank to YNAB, which is totally fine, we get it. To use it, log into your bank's website and download a transaction file straight to your computer. Then I literally drag and drop that file onto my account register in YNAB and it will import all the transactions in this file. Use whichever method you like. All transactions will look exactly the same, act exactly the same once they're imported, and we'll use the exact same approval process for both. So pick whichever suits your situation best. Which brings up a handy tip, by the way. If you're an avid direct import user and your bank connection gets interrupted and stops importing transactions into your budget, you can use file-based import as a backup way of importing transactions in the meantime until your bank gets up and running again, which is pretty cool. Now, on to demonstration time. Unfortunately, I won't be able to demonstrate the visuals of direct import in this video because I can't link a pretend bank account and we're not that close yet. But I sure can demonstrate file-based import, and like I just said, once the transactions are in your budget, they all operate the exact same way, whether they came from direct import or file-based import. So I downloaded a bank file of cleared transactions onto my computer, and now it's time to drag and drop that file onto my account register. Let go of that bad boy, and my budget tells me that there were 3 transactions on this file: Costco, the gas station, and my electric bill. I'll go ahead and import them, and hey, what do we notice over here? All of the transactions I just imported are automatically marked with a green C to show that they have already cleared the bank. Now, if you think that's satisfying, the most satisfying part of my budget routine is that entering transactions when they happen and importing them once they clear the bank work together. See these little link symbols over here on the left? These are telling me that the electric and Costco transactions I just imported were automatically matched to the electric and grocery transactions I entered myself right when they happened. So we don't need to worry about double entry happening. YNAB's got your back and it will match them up. YNAB also makes sure that you always have the final say because you're the human, you know best. So if everything looks right, I can click this symbol to approve the transaction, or I can select as many as I want and batch approve them with the drop-down edit menu. Oh, and if you end up approving something by mistake, you can always hit the undo button at the top of your budget to go back in time if you're budgeting with the web app. The mobile app does not have the ability to undo, so just watch where you're going over there, I guess. Next, we will deal with this transaction. Now, this transaction wasn't paired to any previously entered transaction. That's what this icon is telling me. So this is probably a transaction I forgot to enter myself when it happened. And it's a gas station transaction, so that's embarrassing considering I bragged earlier about always entering it while the gas is pumping. So I will just categorize this transaction to my transportation category, add a memo if I want, and approve it. I love this combo of entering transactions yourself as they happen and importing cleared transactions from your bank. Because entering transactions yourself gives you that powerful awareness of always being in tune with where your money's at and how much you're spending. But by importing as well, I make sure that I'm never missing anything. So I will repeat this process with any other accounts I have, like a savings account, and that's all there is to approving and matching. Step 1, complete. Now on to step 2, reconciliation. Since I use my budget categories to make my spending decisions, my second step is to double check that the numbers I'm seeing in YNAB agree with the numbers at my bank. The way we do that is by comparing the cleared balance at the top of our YNAB budget with our bank's cleared balance today. If I add up all the transactions that are marked with the green C, symbolizing that they're cleared transactions, you get this number we see up here called the cleared balance. I'm going to check that the current cleared balance in YNAB agrees with the current cleared balance at my bank. Now, if they agree, that means every dollar that's moved in and out of our budget has been accounted for, and we can trust that these numbers are 100% accurate. So how do we actually reconcile? Great question, I'll show you. Navigate over to the top right corner of your budget, click Reconcile, and YNAB will literally ask you, hey, does this cleared number match the current account balance you're seeing at the bank? Well, only one way to find out. Open up a new tab, log into your bank website, and check your actual checking account balance at the bank. By the way, if you're looking at your checking account at the bank, you'll likely see 2 numbers, the cleared or current account balance and the available account balance. You want to make it match the current balance because that balance consists of only cleared transactions. Now, I checked and both my cleared balance in YNAB and my current checking account balance agree, the numbers are the same. So I can answer yes to this question. And let me say, 99% of the time, the answer for me is yes. Why? Because I reconcile my budget at least twice a week. And we get asked this question all the time. How often should I update my budget? How often should I reconcile? And I would say, yeah, at least 2 times a week. Now, why the heck are we reconciling so much? Because if you're updating your budget at least twice a week, you'll never have too many transactions to deal with, and if you have an issue, you'll be able to find and solve it quickly. Imagine having to sort through 2 months of transactions to find the error. You don't want to do that. So maybe think about it in this way instead. Instead of asking, how often should I reconcile? A better question to ask ourselves is, how many days do I want to look at potentially inaccurate information? I vote 0, so that means I'm going to reconcile my budget every day, so I know it's always accurate. I get this weird nerdy thrill out of reconciling, so I actually reconcile my budget most every day, and I find that at this point, rather than me updating my budget, now I feel like my bank and my budget are updating me, telling me which transactions I've cleared, what expenses me and my partner may have forgotten about, and it's harder for mistakes and surprises to slip through the cracks. And if I'm getting that information from my bank or my credit card multiple times a week, then it's extremely likely that those numbers are gonna agree and I can reconcile in a flash. So, off my soapbox, I'm gonna click yes, and our budget says, woohoo, account reconciled. And hey, wait, what do we notice with our account register? What happened to those cleared transactions? Well, they have been digitally filed away because they're reconciled. We don't need to worry about them anymore, so they're no longer cluttering up my account register. But if I ever want to go back and see old transactions that have been reconciled and filed away, I can use this filter and whammo, there they all are. You can tell the reconciled transactions apart from the others because they have a lock symbol by them. And when I want to tuck them away again, I can send them right back into the digital filing drawer the exact same way. Now, these transactions that are left, they happened, I know, because I entered them yesterday after I swiped my card, but they either haven't been sent off to the bank yet or the bank has yet to process them. You might actually even see them on your bank account as a pending transaction, but they still have not been cleared by the bank, so that's why these transactions didn't import earlier. But let's also look at the flip side of reconciliation. If the cleared balance in my budget doesn't match the cleared or current balance at the bank, then I will click no, and down here, my budget will actually give me a few ideas for ways I could fix what might be off in my budget and get them to agree. If, after some heavy investigating, I still can't for the life of me figure out the problem, I can just tell the budget what the bank says it should be and call it a day. The budget will adjust to reflect what I actually have in the bank. Now my budget and my bank agree again on how much money I actually have. And step 2, reconciliation complete. Now, on to step 3, arguably the most fun and satisfying. We are going to check and adjust the category balances in our budget. Now that I'm positive all of my transactions are in my account register and categorized to the right category, I can run my eye up and down my budget and shucks. I see that I ended up overspending in transportation. If you're familiar with YNAB's 4 rules, this is where we put rule 3 into action. Roll with the punches. Life happens, so let's help our budget roll with it. I've got to find a way to cover this overspending in my transportation category by borrowing money from some other less important category in my budget. Let's see, I don't want to take away from my auto maintenance category. I don't want to take away from my future computer, but aha, dining out. This category has some extra money in it that I would be fine not spending this month. When I click it, YNAB moves money from one category to the other, and boom, problem solved. Scan for any more overspending or categories that need adjusting in my budget. I'll be honest, my coffee category, it's overspent, so I guess I'll cover that with my fun money because coffee's fun. That's a good time for me. And honestly, while I'm at it, I'm just gonna move a little bit of this money to my coffee category because it's definitely the one that gives me the most life. There we go, I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm done. Now, when I'm not sharing my budgeting routine with the whole World Wide Web, I'm usually done in 5 minutes or less. It's an oddly peaceful and relaxing part of my day, and I always seem to walk away from it feeling more responsible, more in control, and confident that I have all my needs covered for the next few days. It's like a mini spa session for the right side of my brain. But I wouldn't leave you without some handy, helpful tips from my buddies here at You Need a Budget, so here's a few. First, and the winning piece of advice by a landslide, is update often for a quicker routine. Seriously, the more often you update your budget, the less room there will be for errors, so you'll be able to reconcile fast, quickly, and get on with your day. One of my coworkers, Natalie, takes her kids to the school playground early so they can get some energy out before school, and while they're playing, she updates her budget on her phone. Direct import transactions show up on your mobile device, so as long as you have internet connection, you can update your budget from absolutely anywhere. The playground, the gym, the DMV, and my personal favorite, the loo. Reconcile later on your computer, or you can now reconcile on iOS devices. The second tip we seem to hear from just about everyone here at YNAB is that entering transactions yourself truly makes a budgeting routine just that much faster. Think about it. Fewer transactions to catch up on, you can actually still remember what you bought at Walmart yesterday, and this tip wins bonus points for keeping us budgeters super extra aware of what our money is doing. For instance, one of my coworkers updates her budget every time she buckles her kids into the car when she's running errands. I mean, you're not gonna not buckle your kids into the car, so this is a great, consistent habit to attach to another habit. Another one of my coworkers has a competition with the card reader thing at the self-checkout to see if he can enter his transaction into YNAB before the card reader thing finishes processing his card. And extra tip, for categories that you are constantly spending in, like coffee on the way to work or the parking meter outside of your job, you can actually pin categories to the top of your mobile budget for easy access at any time. It'll hang out at the top of your budget, ready to take on a new transaction whenever you throw on its way. So yeah, get creative, gamify it. You may find after a while that budgeting is actually way more fun than you might think. If you make it a game, not only will your budget be happier, but you will be happier too. Thanks for joining this workshop, and happy budgeting.